drop my gun.
I'm supposed to go to the left.
We'll have to do it again.
No, I'm not doing this anymore with you.
Let it out. I understand. I'd be livid.
You gotta be kidding me, man.
That's a $1,000 gun. And you're paying for it.
Would you believe that most people didn't even know this movie existed until they walked into a GameStop and saw that playing on the televisions in the stores? No joke, that was made for like the GameStop reels that they had playing on the televisions when you walked into the stores, and also for motion posters, places that have motion posters available for the posters in the movie theaters. And you know, that was the first time that most people knew this movie even existed. That's at least how I knew it existed my first time seeing it. But welcome to I almost said it again, Time About the Movies. I said the wrong name before. This is actually take 2, but this is Time About the Movies, and today we are taking a look at 5 films that came out on August 6, 2010, and the biggest new release of them all was, of course, The Other Guys, a film that came up with the idea, that came around because of Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg having good comedy at the 79th Annual Academy Awards, which I think was 2009, if I'm not mistaken. It's either 2008 or 2009, I can't remember. Actually, wait. 75th was 2003, so... 1, 4, 6, 7, 8. Okay, it was 2007. You saw me trying to count the numbers here. But, you have a story where you have Terry Hoyts, played by Mark Wahlberg, whose mistakes in the past in the line of duty, and Alan Gamble, played by Will Ferrell's reluctance to take risks, have landed them the roles as the other guys, disgraced New York City police detectives relegated to filling out paperwork for cocky hero cops Danson and Highsmith, played by Samuel L. Jackson and Dwayne Johnson, who are killed off almost immediately. The mismatched duo must look past their differences when they take on a high-profile investigation of shady capitalist David Ershon and attempt to fill the shoes of the notoriously reckless officers they idolize. In what was a year where apparently this was the norm, because not only could you see this in theaters, but you also had the television show, I think it was also called The Other Guys, too. The Good Guys is what it was. It had Colin Hanks, Bradley Whitford, Nia Vardalos trying to save whatever was left of her career after continuous flop after flop after My Life in Ruins and Connie and Carla, but that show didn't last very long either. And you have a cast in here that also includes Eva Mendes playing Will Ferrell's wife, which was a great joke about how Mark Wahlberg thinks she's going to be this ugly-looking person, and she turns out to be the hottie that is Eva Mendes. Michael Keaton, who has a brilliantly funny side plot as not only as the captain of the police, but he also works at Bed Bath & Beyond. Steve Coogan, Ray Stevenson, as I said, Samuel Jackson, Dwayne Johnson, Lindsay Sloan, Natalie Zia, Rob Riggle, Damon Wayans Jr., Viola Harris, Brett Gelman, Bobby Cannavale, a lot of good, funny people all across this movie. This is probably my second favorite McKay-Ferrell collaboration that these guys have done. I mean, Anchorman was great, Talladega Nights not so much, Step Brothers not so much either, but this is a return to form of what makes these movies so funny when Will Ferrell and Anna McKay are just right on the nose, and they make this work very well. It's a really funny movie. Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg just work off each other so well. It's just a really, really silly, fun, stupid, over-the-top comedy, and it just works on so many levels. It's a film that makes me laugh hard. I mean, it's the definition of a really, really damn good comedy that I wish was there in Talladega Nights and Step Brothers. I just don't like those movies as much as I like Anchorman and also this movie. And it just works because Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg work off each other so well. I mean, the first Daddy's Home movie is a really funny movie. It's a silly movie, it's a stupid movie, but it's a film that is very funny and very well done. And it's because Will Ferrell and Mark Wahlberg work off each other so well. Doesn't work very well in Daddy's Home too, but the first Daddy's Home movie is a fun movie overall. It's a very fun, over-the-top comedy. It just works so well. But here, The Other Guys, I really love it. I think it's a very funny film, very good film. Can't recommend it enough. So let's go ahead and move on to the next movie we have here. They're stepping up in the new dimension. Step up in 3D.
2006, the movie Step Up became a phenomenon. In 2008, Step Up to the Streets took it to a whole new stage. This Friday, take the biggest step of all in 3D.
Let's do this.
Step Up 3D is the hottest party of the summer.
You up for a little competition?
I never lose.
Step Up 3D. Rated PG-13. Shot entirely in 3D. Starts Friday.
Who would have guessed that Step Up would work so well in 3D? I mean, that's something I did not see coming at all. And man, these movies really have gotten better and better as time has gone on. The first Step Up movie was what it was. It was kind of a typical dance movie, but then Step Up to the Streets took it to that next level where, you know, you look at the dance moves in there and just like they're really going in on this. They're really going in on their all. And now you have this one, Step Up 3D, and man, they take this to the nth level and beyond because man, this one is just such a ton of fun, and it helps that it's in 3D. And it filmed in 3D too. I'm starting to realize that there weren't that many post-production 3D held movies as what I would have initially thought, because I just have yet to use that graphic again that I used for Clash of the Titans. But then again, there's still a possibility we might get to it later on down the road. But this one was filmed in 3D, and it definitely shows because yeah, they're putting all their all into this. But you have Moose and Camille played once again by Camilla's played by Allison Stoner. Who's Moose again? Adam G. Savani. They head to New York University, the former dancer of whom is majoring in electrical engineering after promising his father that he would not dance anymore. However, he stumbles upon a dance battle, meeting Luke Catcher, played by Rick Malambry. I think I'm pronouncing that name right. And his House of Pirates dance crew, and later teaming up with them to compete in the World Jam Dance Concert against their rival, the House of Samurai Dance Crew. And you also have Sharni Vincent playing Natalie, and man, you know, Brianna Evigan in the last movie was something, but Sharni Vincent, Jesus Christ, man. I mean, I don't know how they keep getting these hot-looking dancers, but hey, keep it up, man, because they're working. But not only that, it's just like the movies are just a ton of fun. The dance moves alone in 3D, and the way they use it is so well done. Yeah, the story is pretty lackluster, and the acting is, for the most part, but really, the best things about the movie are the dance sequences and how they're shot, and how they use the 3D to good effect. This is John Chu who directed this movie, who will later go on to do, of course, Wicked, and this coming February, he's going to have Justin Bieber, Never Say Never, which, yeah, that's going to be interesting to talk about in a couple months' time, but on top of that, this has the best soundtrack of the entire series. I mean, the Club Can't Even Handle Me Right Now is one of those songs that just, it sticks in your ear. The first time you hear it after a long time, it's just like you want to go back and listen to this song again. Like, I feel like I'm going to listen to it again after I'm done recording this because I just love that song so much. It's a song that's so catchy and so in your head. Like, the second you hear it, it's just like, I gotta listen to it now, and there's no other option here. I've got to find a way to listen to this, which I'm definitely gonna do as soon as I'm done recording this. But yeah, these movies are not that great in terms of story or acting, but you're not there for the story and acting. You're here to see the dance moves, and the dance moves absolutely are worth it, especially in this film in 3D and just the way they film it all. What more can you say, man? Step Up 3D. Definitely worth checking out. If you like the other movies, if you don't like the other movies, and thought Step Up 2 was actually kind of good, you'll definitely enjoy the hell out of this movie. So those are the two bigger new releases, but there were a couple of little underrated gems that came out that you might not have heard of, especially this first one we have here, and that is Middlemen.
Paramount Pictures presents the story of the World Wide Web.
I got a check here for $2 million under a candy bar.
Oh, and what? That's a bad thing?
Yeah, like that's a bad thing?
And the man
Get out now.
who started it all.
We had no idea what the internet would become. Changing the world is a wild ride.
Middlemen.
So Middlemen is telling the story of the experiences of Christopher Malik, based off the experiences of Christopher Malik, who was previously associated with the internet billing company Epoch and was the founder of ePassporte. And he actually was accused of stealing millions of dollars from his customers from there to fund the creation of the film. And, yeah, the guy probably screwed over a lot of people, but hey, they made a great movie out of it. I mean, this is a movie that has a packed cast. Luke Wilson, Giovanni Ribisi, Gabriel Mock, James Caan, Jacinda Barrett, Kevin Pollak, Laura Ramsey, Claudia Jordan, Terry Crews, John Astin, Kelsey Grammer as a district attorney. This is a movie that is really, really a lot better than I think a lot of people give it credit for. It's a really slick-looking film. There's a sequence that they shot that was like an orgy, and they had to cut that because if they had kept it in there, this would have been an NC-17 rated movie, and it actually leaked onto Pornhub not too long after this. Probably by the same people who made the movie to get the buzz up, but they let it put it on the video release, and yeah, it's definitely something that would probably have pushed this to an NC-17, but hey, NC-17 movies can be good. We've talked about a couple of them, and this one, had it gotten that rating, probably would have been great, too. And this is directed by George Gallo. We've talked about a couple of his movies before this. 29th Street, Trapped in Paradise, movies that weren't that great, but there's stuff about them that do kind of work. This is probably, overall, his best film as a filmmaker. This is a movie that is such a really good movie, a slick, stylish, cool film, telling this very interesting story, and it just works, man. It's a film that definitely deserves a lot more attention. If you have not seen Middlemen, definitely check out Middlemen. So with that said, let's go on to a much more family-friendlier movie than Middlemen. Here's Rob Reiner's latest film, and that is Flipped.
I never want you to forget how you felt.
Critics are saying Flipped is destined to become a classic.
Julie Baker, I can explain. Okay, I can't explain.
It's Rob Reiner's finest film in years.
I see you've met my son.
A feel-good family movie.
You afraid to talk to her? Afraid to talk to her?
It appeals to both young and old.
A girl like that doesn't live next door to everyone.
For anyone who remembers their first love, you'll love Flipped.
It can be magic.
Flipped, rated PG. August 6th in select cities. August 27th everywhere.
Yeah, we just had Middlemen with Kelsey Grammer playing a crooked district attorney, and now we have his father from Frasier, John Mahoney, in this movie, in what would actually be his last thing that he would be in before he passed away in 2018. So this is a story based off of a novel of the same name about two 8th graders who start to have feelings for each other despite being total opposites. You have Callum McAuliffe and Madeline Carroll, and also a cast that includes Rebecca De Mornay, Anthony Edwards, the aforementioned John Mahoney, Penelope Ann Miller, Aidan Quinn, and Kevin Weisman among the cast here. Didn't do very well at the box office. It really kind of came and went. Even after it got the big wide release at the end of the month, people mostly forgot about it, and it's a shame, man, because this thing is a really, really good coming-of-age film. It's a film that takes you back to the days of what Rob Reiner used to do with stuff like Stand By Me and The Princess Bride before he took on this more adult approach, and it just works really well. I think it's a very good film that definitely deserves a lot more attention, and it's the last great thing Rob Reiner has ever made. I've looked at some of his other movies he's done. He hasn't made a whole lot of good stuff since then, like The Magic of Belle Isle, And So It Goes, Being Charlie, LBJ, Shock and All. And he did a documentary about Albert Brooks not too long ago, which I have yet to see, but Spinal Tap 2 could be pretty interesting, even though I have that thing with comedy sequels in general, especially ones that are coming 41 years after the original. Yeah, this is Spinal Tap 2's coming 41 years after the original film, but hey, it could be good, but this definitely is a very good movie, and one that definitely deserves a lot more attention, and one that I think is gaining a little bit of a following over the years, and I hope people are enjoying it, because it is a really good movie. I think it's a very enjoyable film. Definitely check it out, Flipped. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to the last movie we have here. Probably the worst one we have this week, but even then, it's not that bad of a movie, and that is, I forgot the name of it, 12.
Absolutely not.
You've already spent all of your vacation money.
I just threw my famous party. And I'll be famous.
That's what you want? Be famous?
Yeah, it's probably not a good sign when the most memorable scene is watching Ella Blake from Fringe is laying around in a pink bikini and panties and around all these stuffed animals. I mean, that really is the most memorable scene of the entire movie. And that's not a good sign for this film going forward. The story of this is based off of a book of the same name by Nick McDonald, and it follows a young drug dealer whose luxurious lifestyle falls apart after his cousin is murdered and his best friend is arrested for the crime. It features Chase Crawford, who you know from Gossip Girl, and also he plays the Geep on The Boys. And also Rory Culkin from Scream 4 and You Can Count on Me, 50 Cent Jackson, Emma Roberts, and Emily Nee. Like I said, Ella Blake on Fringe. And directed by Joel Schumacher, and definitely not one of his better movies. It's a film that has a stylistic look to it overall, but other than that, though, there's really nothing else there to it. I mean, if the most, like I said, if the most memorable scene of it is just a still shot of this woman who's lying around around all these stuffed animals in her lingerie, it's just like, that's probably not a good sign for the film going forward. I don't really remember a whole lot about this film except for that, and that's not a good sign for this film, so... yeah, I haven't seen it in a while, but judging from what I remember from it, I don't think it was that good of a film to begin with, so... Not much more to say about that one. Quick one on that one, that's 12.
What's my oldest Willis friend doing here?
Well, 3 names came to the top of the list.
Only needed to do this job. How much?
Oh, like I said.
A team of legendary warriors.
So, we are working for the agency.
On a mission.
What's wrong with this picture?
Everything. They weren't expected to survive.
Great, we got a small army. What do we got? 4.5 men.
Not so funny. It's not easy being your friend.
What happened to you? Got my ass kicked. Let's see what you got. Hey!
Get out there!
Why me?
It's smaller!
Are you crazy? You're gonna kill me!
You're welcome!
Yeah, bro, man.
My turn!
I call that a tie.
Come on, keep dreaming.
The Expendables, you know.
You gotta love the fact that they don't even bother spoiling the fact that, yeah, they're not in this movie for too long, Arnold Schwarzenegger and Bruce Willis. You see pretty much their one scene, and that's pretty much it. That you don't see them again in the rest of the movie, but don't worry, they'll make up for it in the sequel. But anyway, welcome to Time About the Movies. Today we are taking a look at the 4 films released on August 13th, 2010, and that is the biggest new release, obviously, The Expendables, in which it revolves around a group of mercenaries played by Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Jet Li, Randy Couture, and Terry Crews, who go around shooting and killing bad guys. Okay, that's not the whole plot, but it feels like it's the whole plot. The mercenaries are actually called in to overthrow a South American dictator gone awry, being led by an ex-CIA agent played by Eric Roberts to save the dictator's daughter. And really, the film's highlight is that scene with Bruce Willis and Arnold Schwarzenegger in the church, and they're discussing a dangerous mission in South America. It's a solid scene. It's got some good jokes, great acting from all 3 stars, but that scene happens 20 minutes into this 103-minute movie, and then you never see him again at that point. And it's just like, why even bother putting the money shot in the trailer if you're just going to not even have him in there for that much time at all? Like, that's literally the only scene they're in. But, like I said, the second film will make up for it, no question about it, but, everything else about the film is your typical action movie plot that you know will have hot girls, explosions, and a lot of fighting, and that's what you get in the movie. Most of it is pretty damn fun. Yeah, you get your hot girls in here. Giselle ETA playing the dictator's daughter, Charisma Carpenter, 20-minute explosion sequences, including a lot of plasticine and a lot of fighting, including one fight scene between Jeff Lee and Dolph Lundgren. And I wish it could have been filmed a lot better, but it's there, and you appreciate it for what it is. The bad guys are really not that threatening at all. In Rambo, the bad guys killed children, innocent people, raped them. They were just plain evil. And what's the most threatening thing the bad guys do in The Expendables? Put a towel over the dictator of the daughter and pour water on her. Ooh, these bad guys are really awful. I mean, even waterboarders, professional waterboarders know better than to just do that as the big evil thing that they do, but I don't know. The Expendables is basically elements of scenes from the 80s and 90s action movies pleated together into one movie. But at the same time, it's a fun movie. It's not on the same levels as Rocky Balboa or Rambo, but it is still fairly watchable, and it does get better from here, at least with the next movie coming up, which will be in 2012. So we'll save that for the Expendables 2. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, and that is Julia Roberts in Eat, Pray, Love.
This is my life. I'm going for it.
You will love it. In my hearing.
Eat, Pray, Love. Rated PG-13.
Or as most people will probably consider it who saw it, fuck off and die, because, man, it takes a lot to make Julia Roberts unlikable in a movie, and congratulations, Ryan Murphy, you did just that and then some. Roberts plays Liz Gilbert, who is everything a modern woman is supposed to dream of having. She has a husband, a house, a successful career, yet like so many others, she felt lost, confused, and unsure of what she really wanted in life. Newly divorced and at a crossroads, Gilbert steps out of her comfort zone, risking everything to change her life, embarking on a journey around the world that becomes a quest for self-discovery. In her travels, she discovers the true pleasures of nourishment by eating in Italy, the powers of prayer in India, and finally, and unexpectedly, the inner peace and balance of true love in Bali. Which sounds amazing until you realize that this bitch pretty much destroyed her entire relationship, and she's instantly unlikable. I mean, seriously. I mean, she really is playing the stereotypical Carrie Bradshaw in the Sex and the City movies type of a woman. Like, it's her problems are white people problems, pretty much. I mean, she dreams of having a husband, a beautiful house, a successful career. Oh wait, she had all those things, and then she just decided, fuck you, husband. Fuck my job. I'm going to go ahead and lead my life and go on this exotic vacation around the world and be the most unbearable person imaginable. I mean, granted, she's not the girls from Sex and the City too bad, but she's pretty damn close. And yeah, it's embarrassing watching Julia Roberts stoop to this low. And it just goes to show you that, hey, Ryan Murphy, as great of a television producer and creator he is, when he directs movies, he ain't that damn good. He's the same guy that gave us Running with Scissors, and there's another dud from him. Yeah, so. Wasted movie overall. I know it's based off of a book people love, but it's still not a good movie. I mean, it ends with Us, and where the Crawdads sing were movies that were successful, but you know what? I didn't think they were that good either, so take that for what you will. But with all that said, let's get to some good stuff, finally. Let's get to the best movie of the year, tied with the best movie of the year for me. And that is, of course, Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Discover a love story about a boy.
So this is a date, eh? Did I say date? Slip the tongue. Tongue.
A girl.
Garlic bread is my favorite food. I could honestly eat it for every meal. Bread makes you fat. Bread makes you fat?
And her 7 evil exes.
Yeah. Wait, what?
7 evil exes coming to kill you, controlling Ramona's love life?
Whoops.
From the director of Hot Fuzz and Shaun of the Dead.
Next time, don't date the girl with 11 evil ex-boyfriends.
So really?
Oh, that's not that bad.
Scott Pilgrim vs. the World.
Like I said, this is my favorite movie of the year next to Toy Story 3. I mean, Toy Story 3 and Scott Pilgrim, it really is back and forth of which one I really like that much more. I mean, I like both of them just as much. This is, of course, based off of the graphic novel series of the same name by Brian Lee O'Malley, and it stars Michael Cera as Scott Pilgrim, who falls in love with a girl named Ramona Flowers, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. And Scott finds out that the hard way that he has to defeat Ramona's 7 evil exes brought together by Ramona's last boyfriend, played by Jason Schwartzman. And this is what Edgar Wright does so well as a director. This is easily his best film, as the guy that gave us Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. And this is one of the best movies I saw that year. I mean, this is a movie where it does kind of start off slow with the relationship between Scott and Knives Chow, who's very good here, played by Ellen Wong, and how he first meets Ramona. But the second Ramona's first evil ex comes in, and Scott Pilgrim has no idea what he has to do except beat the shit out of him, that's where the movie took off, and it's just like, okay, I am now officially yours, because this movie is pretty freaking amazing. The visuals, fantastic to look at. A brilliant all-star cast. Anna Kendrick, Chris Evans, Brandon Routh, Mae Whitman, Brie Larson, Allison Pill, Johnny Simmons, Aubrey Plaza. All terrific. Kieran Culkin. You don't hate any one of these characters at all. The fight scenes are so spectacular to watch. I mean, this is a film that just works on so many levels, and yet it didn't make a single cent at the box office when it first came out. It came and went, and everyone thought it was going to be a big failure. This was Universal back at the time when they were really struggling to find some hits, and even the ones they had weren't enough to save the studio in general. I mean, yeah, they had the Fast and Furious movies, but they also had Despicable Me. But other than that, though, I mean, they had so many movies that flopped, and most of them were not bad movies. There were some good ones there. This is probably the best thing they did in that entire block. I mean, this is top-notch stuff. I don't have much more to say about this one that hasn't already been said already. Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, easily one of the best movies of the year, tied with Toy Story 3 as the best film of the year, no question about it. So with that said, let's move on to our last movie that we have here, and that's Jackie Weaver starring in Animal Kingdom. Take that, Disney. Australia beat you and making an Animal Kingdom movie before you could possibly make it. But this is, of course, Animal Kingdom, which is based on the story of several crimes allegedly committed by the Pettingill family of Melbourne, Australia, particularly one involving brothers Trevor and Victor Pierce, and two other men, Anthony Lee Farrell and Peter David McAvoy, all of whom were acquitted in 1988 of murdering two police officers in the Wall Street police shootings. The other cast also includes Ben Mendelsohn, Joel Edgerton, Guy Pearce, Sullivan Stapleton. I never saw this movie, honestly. I just remember that Jackie Weaver was nominated for an Academy Award for this, for Best Supporting Actress. I know there was a television series that came afterwards, which was ran for a couple seasons on TNT with Ellen Barkin in the leading role. But other than that, I've never seen the movie, so I can't really say if it's good or not. But I guess it had a legacy to it because it led to an Oscar nomination for Weaver and also that long-running TNT series. So there is an audience for it, and I just never got around to seeing it. So not much more to say about that one. That's Animal Kingdom.
I want you to meet my family.
We've heard so much about you. Paper cut.
Someone here ordered Chinese food?
From the guys who couldn't sit through another vampire movie, take aim at Alice.
Where did you go, silly rabbit?
You don't get it. I'm a killer.
Oh.
Explore the situation.
Who are they? Snooki, JWoww, DJ Polly D. What? No, not the dirtbags from the Jersey Shore.
And get ready to go gaga.
I finally found someone as freaky as me.
Lady Gaga?
Too freaky?
Oh, yeah! On August 18th, the battle begins.
It's raining men! Hallelujah, it's raining!
The bigger the hit, the harder it sucks.
Jacob, why did you just take off your shirt?
My contract says I have to every 10 minutes of screen time.
You know who we are, don't you? You're the Black Eyed Peas.
Why does everyone always think we're the Black Eyed Peas?
Jacob, run! A chihuahua?
Vampires suck.
Edward! Edward! Where? Edward, we love you. You're the best. No, Jacob's the best!
Yeah, welcome to Time About the Movies, where, of course, today we are taking a look at the 5 films that came out on August 20th, 2010. And the biggest new release of them all was, of course, Vampires Suck, which is the latest film from Jason Freeberg and Aaron Seltzer. However, it's the last film released under 20th Century Fox, and pretty much their last movie that would go wide in theaters. The next movie they would put out would go straight to DVD. So at least they knew that it was time for them to stop fucking around with the audiences in general. Even though this one will actually surprise you because it's actually one of the better ones. That doesn't make it a great movie, but as you can see from the trailer there, it's a parody of the Twilight Saga, but you also have those little nods to things that were popular at the time, like the Jonas Brothers, the Jersey Shore, Black Eyed Peas, Lady Gaga, all these things are in there. And yeah, they're definitely all over this movie. And yeah, this is not a good spoof movie. However, this movie actually is right up there with Date Movie for some of the better films in the series, because for one thing, it's a good jabbing of the Twilight Saga in general. I think they did a pretty good job of making fun of the obvious things that you can make fun of, like the thing in the trailer where Jacob's wearing has to take his shirt off, and Bella's just like, why are you taking your shirt off? Oh, it's in my contract that I have to take it off every 10 minutes. I mean, I like the fact that they did that those jokes in there actually do kind of work. And you got people like Matt Lanter, who was in Disaster Movie, but then you have Ken Jeong, Annalise Van der Poel from That's So Raven, Ariel Kevel from Soul Plane. So they got some not really big names in general, but names you've seen before time and time again. And like I said, it's not a great movie overall, but considering how bad stuff like Epic Movie, Meet the Spartans, or Disaster Movie, we don't give a fuck about we don't even give a fuck. We're just doing this because we want to see how many references you get while we're counting your money. And yeah, you're getting a lot of that in here, but at the same time, it is still very much a parody of Twilight, and an okay parody. Not even a good parody, but I got more laughs out of this than I would have had I seen this back then. I obviously avoided this one like the plague back then, and I watched it just kind of like, you know, it's not great, but it certainly is a lot better than what the last 3 films that came before it. And yeah, it's, like I said, it's not a great movie, but considering what these guys have done, this is probably their second best overall movie that they had done, and even then, it's not that great. So, a mostly negative review, but if you're going to be forced to watch one of these movies, I'd say watch Date Movie first, then Vampires Suck, and then after that, you really don't need to watch them anymore. Let's be honest, you're not going to want to watch them again the first time after watching them. So anyway, that's Vampires Suck. So let's go ahead and move on to some good movies now. Actually some decent surprises here. And one of the big ones here is Lottery Ticket.
Kevin, are you coming to breakfast or not? Don't have me cooking all this food and you ain't gonna eat it. Kevin?
No matter who you are.
Pam, this is so good.
Why you always come with Miles eating all my food, huh?
He's so stingy. I'm telling your grandma I'm stingy.
Everyone dreams of hitting it big.
On this hot 4th of July weekend, it's all of that lottery fever. I want you to play my numbers for me. Last night, I dreamt I was waiting on the bus. You'll never guess who was driving.
Who?
Jesus. He said, child, it's a recession.
Hell, I played the lottery. The machine just broke. What do you mean it broke? I'm joking. Now I know your mama beat the black out both of us, but she know we ain't play them numbers.
Here's the winning numbers. And the Mondo number is 21.
Come on.
You okay, boy?
We won the lottery. We won!
I gotta call somebody.
No, nobody can know about this. I just need to go down and turn this ticket. It's closed. Closed for 4th of July.
That's 3 whole days. We're the only ones who know about the ticket. What can go wrong?
I want to have your baby.
I know your mama.
What is all of this?
Now,
Kevin.
yo, he's coming.
Who's coming? Jesus.
No, not Jesus. Lorenzo, man. He's out of jail.
I'm gonna need that lottery ticket.
He's got the ticket.
Can you protect yourself at all times? What you got? Come on. Hit your left foot.
But everyone's got his number.
I'd like you to accept this loan.
I can't take this.
You refusing my friendship?
No.
I hope the little girls you're trying to impress is worth it.
If you think that's tender, wait till you taste it.
Protect yourself at all times. Kevin, this is my ex-wife, built like a sack of laundry. This is the wife that God want me to have.
That's not right.
This summer, you might just discover
If you won the lottery, what would you do?
Give people something to live for instead of just living.
what really counts. Bow Wow, Brandon T. Jackson, Naturi Norton, Keith David, Charlie Murphy, Terry Crews, Mike Epps, Bill Bellamy, T-Pain, Loretta Devine, and Ice Cube.
Say, young blood. Somebody read him a bedtime story.
Lottery Ticket. Summer 2010.
Yeah, a surprisingly really enjoyable movie based off of a really good concept. Bow Wow plays a young man from Atlanta who wins a $370 million lottery and soon realizes that people from the neighborhood are not his real friends but are after his money. And you have a cast that includes a lot of notable names, as they say in the trailer: Brandon T. Jackson, Naturi Norton, Keith David, Charlie Murphy, Terry Crews, Mike Epps, Loretta Devine, and also Ice Cube. And yeah, the movie is a good concept overall, because if you win the lottery, yeah, the first thing you want to do is tell everybody, but then I like how Bow Wow has that realization that as soon as everyone realizes that he won the lottery, everyone's going to come after him and ask for that money. And sure enough, as soon as everyone figures it out, of course they want him to give that money away, and they want to try to get out of the hood and all that. And so and also he's got this battle between essentially Debo from Friday. I mean, it's literally the same concept of Friday in general, where you have Bow Wow's character going up against the equivalent of Debo from Friday. And yeah, some of that stuff is not that great either. And I can't even pronounce the guy's name. Is Bendi Akanabi? So I'm not even going to try to pronounce that name. But the film overall is still fun. I still thought it was very enjoyable. I thought it was very good. I thought the actors in there did a really good job in here. I like the idea of the story. I like the characters overall. Yeah, the story has been done to death before, and at times can be similar to Friday in general. But at the same time, it's fine. It's a pretty good movie overall. I still thought it was kind of enjoyable. And, yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a ton of fun. I thought it was a very solid film. And, yeah, it kind of came and went when it came out. It didn't make a ton of money at the box office and just kind of disappeared under the radar. But overall, yeah, like I said, it's a pretty good movie. It's a fun film. Not the most intelligent or smartest overall, but I mean, it's fine for what it is. It's a good movie. It's one I'd say definitely check it out. If you like Friday, if you like stuff in like One of Them Days, you'll definitely find a lot to admire about Lottery Ticket, honestly. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our next movie, and that is Piranha in 3D. I'm going to keep doing that with every 3D movie now, so yeah, prepare yourself for that.
This is what it's all about. Beer, sun, and naked honeys making out underwater.
The perfect place.
I wasn't sure you were coming back. You should come with.
I would love to come on your boat.
The perfect day.
Cheers. There's something in the water.
This summer.
They're coming!
Welcome
Oh my God.
to paradise.
Please, help.
Piranha in 3D. Rated R. Theaters everywhere. August 20th.
Haven't actually used this in a while, but yes, unfortunately, this movie belongs in the category of post-production 3D hell. But here's the difference between Clash of the Titans and also, what was the other one that used post-production 3D? I think Clash of the Titans was the only one, honestly, but the difference is they did this on purpose because the original plan was to shoot with 3D camera rigs. However, they basically decided to just shoot the movie in 2D and then use 3D in post-production. And unlike other movies that were released in 2010 where they did the conversion afterwards, this is actually one of the first post-conversion ones that actually did it well and actually saved Dimension Films a ton of money by doing it. So, yeah, they did a pretty good job of overall using the 3D very well, even though it was filmed after the post-production after the film had finished production. But this is, of course, a remake of the 1978 movie of the same name, which had an entry that was directed by James Cameron. I think it was the second one, if I'm not mistaken. But during spring break on Lake Victoria, a popular waterside resort, an underground tremor releases hundreds of prehistoric carnivorous piranhas into the lake. A local cop, played by Elizabeth Shue, must join forces with a band of unlikely strangers, though they are badly outnumbered, to destroy the ravenous creature before everyone becomes fish food. And you have a cast that includes Adam Scott, Jerry O'Connell, Ving Rhames, Stephen McQueen, Christopher Lloyd, Richard Dreyfuss, Jessica Shore, and directed by Alexandra Aja, who did The Hills Have Eyes, the first Hills Have Eyes movie in 2006. And overall, it was a pretty fun movie. It's a film that knows exactly what it is. It's a parody of these type of movies. It even has a parody of Jaws on the poster for it. I mean, it's literally the same poster for Jaws, except instead of a shark underneath the woman, it's literally piranhas, and the woman is on a raft. Not really the same thing, but you get the idea. But yeah, overall, it's a pretty solid movie. And guess who co-wrote this? Josh Stolberg, who, believe it or not, has certainly gone a lot better than the last film he wrote, which was Good Luck Chuck. And not even that, but, you know, this is the guy that did Kids in America and Sorority Row. And honestly, I was going to say this might be the best thing he wrote, but, you know, down the road he did write the Saw movies, and he did write some good Saw movies. Spiral from the Book of Saw and just recently Saw X. So his career definitely got better from stuff like Kids in America and Good Luck Chuck and Sorority Row. And it started with this movie here, so, hey, go figure. But, yeah, overall, it's a fun movie. It's a fun movie that knows exactly what it is. Silly, over-the-top fun, parodying the shark movie genre, but this time replacing the sharks with piranhas. And it plays it very well. It works very well. The 3D works really good, too. It's a good film. It's a really fun film overall that surely they went ahead and completely dismantled the enjoyment factor with the sequel, Piranha in 3D. And, yeah, we'll get to that one in 2012, but I'm just going to tell you right now, that one sucks, too. That one, not sucks, too, but that one sucks more than this. So, take that for what you will. So, anyway, that is Piranha 3D. So, let's go ahead and get back to some decent movies. Jennifer Aniston and so many J's on here. Jennifer Aniston and Jason Bateman starring in the comedy The Switch.
I seem to have a growth.
Oh, such
It's not a sunset.
Relationships are all about keeping it real. Gotta hide the crazy, at least through the advertising.
Which one of your 3 failed marriages taught you that lesson?
All 3, and they're special in various ways.
Weeding out the competition
Declan, he's a writer/director.
Hey, Double Threat.
and taking it like a man.
This kid hates me, Wally.
No, I don't think.
No, he does. He's told me a couple times.
Oh, well.
The Switch.
Yeah, that trailer doesn't tell you the plot of the movie, and that's probably one of the reasons why this film didn't do so well. And that kid is important to the storyline, as I'm about to tell you with the plot here. Jennifer Aniston and Jason Bateman are best friends. Being unlucky in love, Jennifer Aniston's character Cassie has decided to have a children using artificial insemination. Jason Bateman's character Wally doesn't like that idea, but he isn't capable of admitting to himself, let alone to Cassie, that he's in love with her. At Cassie's artificial insemination party, which I had no idea was even a thing, but Wally gets very drunk and spies the sperm donor sample in the bathroom. Wally was way too drunk to know what he did that night, and Cassie has moved away because she doesn't feel that New York City is a place to raise a child. Now, 7 years later, Cassie has moved back in with her son Sebastian, while she is looking to get Roland, played by Patrick Wilson, the sperm donor, more involved in their lives. Wally can't help but notice the many striking similarities that he and Sebastian share. And essentially, yeah, Jason Bateman is the father, and they could have easily just gone to the Maury Povich show, and Jason Bateman could have done a dance when Maury reveals that you are the father, and the dance and all that, which was fun. That stuff was fun at the time, but the fact that every single episode of the Maury Povich show after that essentially just became that, it's just kind of like the fun factor really lost it after that point. But yeah, this is a film that surprisingly is really good, and I'd written off Jennifer Aniston after a couple of really bad movies she had done, Love Happens and then The Bounty Hunter, but here's one that actually was pretty good. This is actually a really solid film. More shocking by the fact that it's also written by Alan Loeb, who will later write some very not great movies like Wall Street, Money Never Sleeps, and The Dilemma, but hey, he wrote a decent script here. This is directed by Will Speck and Josh Gordon, who did Blades of Glory. Not quite as good as that movie in general, but overall, the film surprisingly does work. You do buy the chemistry between Aniston and Bateman. You do buy Bateman's idea that, he feels like this kid is very much his kid, and, he's very stuck in a situation where he's afraid to tell Jennifer Aniston how much he loves her. And yeah, it leads to a lot of interesting scenarios and interesting conflicts in general. Very, very formulaic, yes, but, if your chemistry between your two leads works very well, you can easily make it work. And this one does it very well. It's a very solid film, a very entertaining movie, and it's definitely one I recommend checking out. It's one of Jennifer Aniston's more underrated movies as a leading actress, and I thought it worked very well, so it's a good recommendation. Watch The Switch. So with that said, let's go ahead and move on to our last movie, and it's the return of Nanny McPhee in Nanny McPhee Returns.
The person you need is Nanny McPhee.
Nanny McPhee.
Nanny McPhee.
I am Nanny McPhee.
Now let's go fuck these kids up. Mom, grab the rolling pin. Because you know that as a kid, at least if you were an Italian kid like me and my sister, you know that if you got in trouble, you did not want that rolling pin to come at you because, yeah, you were going to get hit by that. Or you could have gotten hit by this cane that is just being used as a prop. By the way, $2 at World of Values. I got this years ago. And it's a real cane, too. So take that for what you will. But that has nothing to do with what I'm about to talk about here. Nanny McPhee Returns. Let's talk about that. It's the sequel to the 2006 movie of the same name, taking place in the 1940s with her husband away fighting Adolf Hitler's Nazis. An overworked mother, Isabel Green, played by Maggie Gyllenhaal, finds herself caught between a hectic life of tending to the family farm and raising 3 new mutinous children. In desperate need of a helping hand at the end of her tether, Isabel can't believe her eyes when Nanny McPhee, played by Emma Thompson, the extraordinary government nanny, shows up at the front door after the events of the first movie. As Isabel's scheming brother-in-law Phil tries to talk her into selling her half of the farm, the poor mother is going to need all the help she can get. With a sprinkle of good old magic, do the trick once more. And, yeah, I'd say it did. This is, of course, Emma Thompson's work. She also wrote the script for this. This is directed by Suzanne White, who's done some other stuff here that I'm not too familiar with. Mostly British stuff. But, yeah, I could have sworn she'd done something else. She would later do Our Kind of Traitor down the road with Ewan McGregor, a film I had never heard of, but yeah, this is basically, Emma Thompson returning to a character that worked the first time around, and, brought that back for a surprisingly enjoyable second film, and a good cast involved in this one that includes, as I said, Maggie Gyllenhaal, Ray Fiennes, Reese Ifans, Ewan McGregor, Maggie Smith, Asa Butterfield, who would later go on the next year to star in Martin Scorsese's Hugo, and this was kind of his first entry into the world to most people, and it was a pretty entertaining movie. These Nanny McPhee movies are very fun films. They're films that are very enjoyable. Yeah, they're very much Mary Poppins for a new generation, but it does a good job of distancing the Mary Poppins storyline with the Nanny McPhee storyline, and it's not just because Nanny McPhee looks like an uglier person compared to Mary Poppins. That's a given, but there's a lot of charm to the character of Nanny McPhee, and you can tell that she really does care about her job, and cares about helping this mother dealing with all these problems here. And if anything, this is probably, I think, a much better sequel to Nanny McPhee than Mary Poppins Return was to Mary Poppins. I mean, that's literally what I think of here, because Mary Poppins Returns is not that great of a movie. I mean, the soundtrack is great, but yeah, the movie itself is not pretty forgettable and bland. But there's some good things about that movie, though. But we'll delve into that in 2018. But as far as this film goes, yeah, it's a good movie. It's a fun film. It's not quite as good as the original film, but kind of like with the Bean movies, you watch them and you feel pretty good about yourself overall. You feel pretty good that you had a good time watching this movie, and it works because Emma Thompson just has that great charm of hers as the writer and also the star of the movie, and it just works really well. It's a very fun film. I give it a shot. Give it a shot if you can. Nanny McPhee Returns, or Nanny McPhee in the Big Bang for those of you living in the UK, because that was the title of it there. But anyway, yeah, Nanny McPhee Returns.
They let you out early or what? I guess you guys kind of lost track, huh? It's the past. I'm here to discuss the future. A once-in-a-lifetime job. 30 mil. Why should we trust you? Trust greedy. Bet big, win big. That's the only way to play. On August 27th, he wants more than the money. Some plans.
Where's the C4? It's in the shed. It's in the shed.
To the shed you never see coming. Check him out.
Business is business. I never said we were friends.
Rated PG-13.
A movie that I completely forgot about, that I had no idea that Paul Walker was in this movie, as well as Idris Elba. But welcome to Time About the Movies. Today we are taking a look at the two films that end August 2010, and that is our first movie, and that is Takers. And like I said, I completely forgot about this movie. I just knew that Zoe Saldana was in it, as well as Columbus Short. But not only do they have them in there, but you have a story. Well, the story here is that you follow a group of professional bank robbers who specialize in spectacular robberies. They are pulled into one last job by a recently paroled cohort, only to be pitted against a hardboiled detective and his partner who interrupts their heist. The film features Matt Dillon, Paul Walker, Idris Elba, Jay Hernandez, Michael Ealy, T.I., Chris Brown, Hayden Christensen, as the aforementioned Zoe Saldana, Marianne Jean-Baptiste, Jonathan Sheck, Glenn Turman, Zule Heno, Nick Turturro. So there is a lot of notable names in this movie, and not only is it a reunion of Columbus Short and Zoe Saldana, but it's also a reunion of Zoe Saldana and Idris Elba, who were both in The Losers earlier this year, and just a bunch of people in here that should make for a good movie in general, but there's not a good movie here. I mean, it's a stylistic, cool-looking film in general, but the heist really isn't all that special or amazing. And the guy who's asking them to do this is going to go ahead and, double-cross them. And by the end, it's just like, what's the point? Like, what really is the point of watching this? Like, there's really nothing there. You expect all these names in here to have something there to give you to uplift the film a little bit here, but it really isn't there. And it's just kind of like, nothing really interesting all that happens. Nothing really all that amazing happens in here. And would you expect anything less from the same man that gave us Texas Chainsaw 3D? This is that same director. He did some other movie, Lockdown, which I never even heard of. So that should pretty much tell you everything you need to know about this one. So, I mean, it was a hit. People went to go see it because I guess they were tired of the Expendables already. But I don't know, man. There was just nothing in here that made this work. So, yeah, a hard skip on Takers. So, with all that said, let's go ahead and move on to the second and the last film we have here today, and that is, of course, The Last Exorcism.
Nothing to be nervous about.
He's coming to rescue me.
Let him calm down.
Oh, my God.
Do you hear that? Shh. What is she doing? I don't know.
Demon, cast yourself out.
Run!
Oh, my God.
In the name of Jesus Christ, I command thee to be gone!
The Last Exorcism, rated PG-13 in theaters everywhere, August 27th.
Clearly, this is going to be The Last Exorcism. There will be no more Exorcism movies coming out after this point forward. Yeah, they're completely effing with you. This is nowhere near The Last Exorcism. After years of performing exorcisms, a disillusioned evangelical minister decides to participate in a documentary chronicling his last exorcism while exposing the fraud of his ministry. After receiving a letter from a farmer asking for help in driving out the devil, he meets the farmer's afflicted daughter. And, of course, chaos and hilarity ensues. And by hilarity, some really freaky stuff. And I forgot to mention, this is a found footage horror movie, too. So this is a found footage film, coming right after Paranormal Activity. And the first of several found footage movies, because the people who are making these horror movies realize we can make a cheap-ass movie and it will sell to people. And if we tell them, it's a found footage film. And sure enough, this thing didn't even have a $2 million budget, and it made over $70 million at the box office. So, yeah, there you go. Take that for what you will. But to its credit, though, this is actually not that bad of a movie. This actually is one of the better exorcism movies, because yeah, it doesn't fully deliver on that potential of its found footage premise, but what makes it work are the scares in here and the legitimately good exorcism elements to it. I mean, even something like The Exorcism of Emily Rose. Not a great movie overall, but when they had the exorcism parts in there, it was pretty cool to look at. And sometimes these movies can actually work on that front, but like the bad movies like The Exorcist Believer, and even the sequel, The Last Exorcism Part 2, or even the several that Russell Crowe has done since then. Literally, he's had 2 in the last 3 years, but they all share this kind of the same premise overall, and they just don't have the scare factors in there. This one, I think, actually does a pretty good job of handling that. You've got some pretty good actors who are very convincing in here. Patrick Fabian, Ashley Bell, you have Caleb Landry-Jones in here as well. This is directed by Daniel Staub, who I couldn't swear I've seen his name on some other stuff before. Well, the last thing he did was Pray for the Devil, which is yet another Exorcist movie. I thought he did something else. He did the Scream TV series. He did Fear of the Walking Dead. So he has done a couple of other things in particular. Not just movies about exorcisms in general, but overall, yeah, this is actually not a bad movie. Not a great movie. It certainly pales in comparison to the original Exorcist. I mean, that will still always be the bar to top, and you're never going to top that movie, no matter how hard you try. It's like American Werewolf in London. Like you can't top what you did with that movie. You can only try to update it with the best technology you can, instead of just stick with practical effects when it comes to the Wolfman movies, instead of just terrible CG. But here, for what they had to work with, the budget that they had to work with, they actually made a pretty decent film overall. I'm not going to say it's a great movie per se, but certainly is a lot better than some of the other found footage horror films we're going to get to later on down the road here. And Paranormal Activity 2 will surely help to elevate the numerous found footage films coming out here. And let me tell you, once you see the assortment of bad ones we're going to get to next, you'll be glad that this movie came out, because this is probably one of the better found footage movies you can find out there. So take that for what you will. So that is The Last Exorcism.